Week 10 in the SFL kicks off here in Detroit with the 6-1 Maulers hosting the 4-3 Los Angeles Lycans. I'm Mike O'Neill. Alongside me in the booth, Hazen Polsonetti, Justin Reside and Eddie Gage in the stats truck, and Commissioner Cameron Irvine back at SFL HQ in Texas producing for us. Hazen, first of all, excited to be paired up together. And tonight we've got a treat here. These are two teams really playing good football right now.
They absolutely are. Definitely something to watch, as we were talking about in pregame. It's going to be the battle of the third downs, both on offense and defense. Both teams coming into the game top 5 in third down conversion offense. LA being second and Detroit being fourth. But one thing I'm also going to look out for is the lopsided imbalance in the red zone defenses. Detroit having the upper hand there, allowing the least red zone touchdowns per game. Note the league average is just under 2. Detroit, get this, allowing just 1 red zone touchdown per game, almost half of the league average. So if they are able to shut down LA in the red zone, they will cruise to victory.
Good information there, as we're going to see Detroit take that up to about the 29. Let's look at this offense. Ethan Flowers under center, Johnny Kim's the backup quarterback, Andrew Gibson, Rashawn Williams are the halfbacks. Brad Taylor Wright is the fullback. Rob Hunt, CJ Parrish, Jimmy Went, and Jamar Shelton are the wide receivers. Gordo Kahn and Robert Henson Jr. are the tight ends. Portia Henson, Adrian Marlowe, Jimmy Hayes, Willow Henson, and Torque McLean are the offensive line. 1st and 10, Flowers under center. Triple look here for the Maulers, and they're going to send a man in motion. Looks to be Robert Henson Jr. there. Flowers waits for the snap, and they're going to go handoff up the middle, breaking a tackle. And, oh no, you never like to see this. On the first play of the game, Hazen, Monte Wyatt, star free safety for the Lycans, is down.
Yeah, he is one of their big pieces. He is second on the team in tackles, just behind Ryan Yosef. Also second on the team with 2 picks. That is not a guy that they can afford to lose early on in this one.
I think you're exactly right. And how that changes the back end of a defense is really kind of scary. Interesting to see how Detroit's game plan changes or if they keep things on course. Flowers under center here. Heavier set look, and they're going to go handoff to down the bottom of the screen here, and they're going to go nearly getting to the first down. And that's Rashawn Williams on that carry. They're going to stay 3rd and inches.
Yeah, Rashawn Williams, such an important part of this offense, you know, being asked to do a whole lot, especially as a rookie. Top 5 in both attempts and yards this season for Detroit.
Toss out to the right side, and wow, great job picking that up as Andrew Gibson, and it was 22 Ryan Yosef you mentioned earlier on the tackle. And just like that, you know, picking up a first down. You talked about how good these teams were on 3rd down, and so far so good for Detroit. 1st and 10, toss out to the left side, nice little lane. Can't break the tackle though, is Rashawn Williams.
Yeah, definitely a good start. You mentioned Andrew Gibson. He was actually one of my key players for this game. You know, along with Williams, you got to have a nice complement to your workhorse running back. And Andrew Gibson with 73 carries on the season, averaging 5 yards a carry too, so not too shabby.
Blown up in the backfield. How about that for Ryan Yosef? We've already seen a couple big plays. And just like that, Hazen, 3rd and 10, this is something that this Detroit team maybe not used to, considering how much they run the football. Ethan Flowers
Absolutely.
under center. Downfield, wide open. How about the falling catch by Jimmy Went there? Unbelievable job by the Maulers.
Absolutely. Definitely a big conversion. Jimmy Went kind of in that slot role there. And one of 5 different players on this Detroit roster coming into the game with over 200 receiving yards. So Ethan Flowers definitely spreading the ball around this season.
Absolutely. 1st and 10. They go back to that 5 wide here, looking downfield, and go up and get it. Number 45, Robert Henson Jr., big tight end there.
Yeah, if you know anything about me, you know I love some tight ends. Robert Henson, one of the best in the league, over 300 yards coming into this game. Also led the team in catches with 24 coming into this one.
Love to see them getting involved early, and they're going to stick with this 5 wide. If it's not broken, why try and fix it? Looking across the field. Oh, that was dangerous, Hazen, throwing it into coverage there, and it looked like Matthew Alvarado was right there.
Absolutely was. Yeah, good play. Definitely stalls the offense for them. We'll see if they change it up now that the 5 wide was covered. And it looks like they're going with Williams in the backfield here, Mike.
Yeah, I think that's the right move here. Doubles look here for the offense. See if they go back to the run here. And no, they stick on the ground and looking downfield to the end zone. Oh, overthrown. Trying to get it to C.J. Parrish. Too much heat on it.
Yeah, just panicked a bit that time. Definitely could have put a better ball in there, but, definitely tight coverage there by LA. And if he got that, he would have a very slim chance of even holding on to that football with the defender right in his face, Ryan Yosef.
Yeah, and again, that's the third time we've said Ryan Yosef's name on this drive, Hazen, which is pretty impressive. He seems like one of those guys always in the right area. 3rd and 10. Flowers under center. They're going to go play action this time and caught. Somehow tricks the defense on a 3rd and 10. And just like that, the offense is moving the chains.
Yeah, really good catch by Jamar Shelton that time. Coming into the game, 2nd in his team's receiving yards, and really good fake there. As you said, kind of tricking the defense, making them bite, commit to the run, and then over the top goes Flowers on that play action. Nice done.
1st and goal, handoff up the middle, bottled up and taken down in the backfield is Rashawn Williams. LA's defense is here to play.
They sure are, and they definitely need a stop. They have not been good in red zone defense, allowing over 2 touchdowns in the red zone per game. Good for 16th in the league.
2nd and goal here. Flowers under center. Can they punch it in? Home team wants to see a touchdown quick. Toss out to the left side. Cutting back inside. Does not get there. Doesn't get there. Unbelievable job by Brogan Spiraw.
Yeah, definitely saving a touchdown there. And again, brings up an ever crucial 3rd down. We'll see what they do here.
3rd and goal. Crowd wants to see a touchdown. Handoff up the middle. No! Los Angeles shutting it down. Brogan Spiraw again.
Wow, the fullback dive fools nobody that time. Spiraw up to the challenge.
Just like that, the visiting Lycans really making a statement on defense as that kick is up and good by Cecile Almir. And wow, that's an impressive statement for LA.
Sure is. Definitely happy to hold them to just 3 when it was looking almost certain that Detroit was going to score, march right down the field. But really good job, and we'll see if their offense can come out onto the field here with any sort of confidence after their defense did all they really could on that drive.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at this offense for LA. Solely Richardson under center. Darius Iniguez is the halfback, and Aunt Tim is the halfback as well. Tom Thickey and Dan Curtis are the fullbacks. Bubba Tree, Joseph Bodette, Elsie Pryor, and Chris Lee are the wide receivers. And we're going to see that snap by Richardson, getting it out to the flat here, trying to make somebody miss and picking up a yard out there. I believe it's Iniguez. It's Aunt Tim.
Aunt Tim, yes. Yep. That is just Aunt Tim's 2nd catch of the year. Not used as a receiving back that much, but who knows? Maybe we'll be surprised today.
Richardson across the middle, wide open in the zones, in between zones there was Adam Grabowski.
Wow. What an insane catch. That was one-handed, I believe.
Absolutely. Wow.
Wow. And that's the backup tight end, too. That wasn't even Stephen McMichaels, who comes into the league as the team's leading receiver.
Unbelievable job by Grabowski. They're going to go handoff this time. Nice little cut back in and trying to follow some blockers, picking up 3. Let's go over the rest of this offense. Adam Grabowski, who we just saw with the catch, Stephen McMichaels, who you just mentioned, are the tight ends. Damian Robichard and Oren Wilds are the tackles. Bao Grimm, Don Kaido, and Atlas Wilds are the interior of the line.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be very important for this offensive line to carve out some holes for Iñiguez because he's been okay. He's been kind of average, but I think that it is definitely a dimension of the offense that needs to step up a bit.
5 wide. We've seen this from Detroit. Now we're seeing it from LA. Sully Richardson got to make something happen here down the field, throwing a dart, getting it to the outside, and that's going to be LD Pryor making a nice catch.
Yeah, and that is what Sully really does well, making those clutch throws, especially in crucial situations, entering this game 3rd in the league in completion percentage, and really just a solid, well-rounded quarterback.
Sully trying to check it down. Little miscommunication there, trying to get it to Bubba Tree.
Yeah, couldn't really get him on the drag route there. Took his eyes off the ball, perhaps.
Yeah, and you hate to see that. And you talk about what this team is doing, what the Lycans are doing. There was a whole thing in the offseason talking about hashtag change the narrative. And the Lycans sitting at 4-3. So far, they've done a good job, obviously. Sully Richardson dropping back, looking downfield. Oh, checking it underneath. That could have gone the other way. We're going to get a flag, though.
Looks to be a defensive face mask, so they get bailed out.
Wow. 2nd and 5 now, so the free 5 yards there, and they get the free down again to repeat the down. So that is not a bad situation for the Lycans.
Richardson, not at all.
Back under center here. Heavy set. Like they've got 3 tight ends on the field. Number 43 going in motion and going to roll out to his left. Sully's looking downfield, and he had the look, Hazen, but just couldn't get it, couldn't connect with Stephen McMichaels.
Yeah, I almost thought he had room to run there, too. It seems like nobody was really on him. I'm surprised he didn't try and run for the first down.
Yeah, interesting. He's trying to keep his eyes downfield right now. But 3rd and 5, let's see what they decide to do on this 3rd down. The playbook's pretty wide open. Rolling out to his right, Sully Richardson. Interception, going the other way, down the sidelines, taking it all the way back. Unbelievable. Jack Brown, the Hall of Famer, taking it all the way inside of the 20 for Detroit.
Wow, what a play by the 16-year veteran, Jack Brown. And he is just one of the best linebackers, 5-time All-Star, too. And definitely the defensive captain, showing you why right there, and hyping up the Detroit bench, that's for sure.
And you love to see that. Sully rolls out to his right on that play, right? And he's looking for that backside post, which we see so often. A lot of teams like to play that. And for Jack Brown, I mean, that's a veteran player that knew exactly where to be. Let's see where Ethan Flowers is going. They're going to hand off up the middle, and that's going to be a gain of 1. LA's run defense has been a real bright spot so far.
Absolutely. They have not been able to get anything going. And back to the pick by Brown for a second. As you said, just a true veteran play by a veteran player. And what awareness to know where the ball is going at all times and be able to set up what is certainly tremendous field position for the Maulers to extend this lead here, perhaps.
Now, the interesting thing is, what if LA gets another stop here? That would be a big momentum change. Looking for the back of the end zone, and they won't do it! Over the head! How about the play from C.J. Parrish? Wow. Touchdown Maulers.
C.J. Parrish climbing the ladder. Are you kidding me? What an insane grab.
A little bit of back shoulder action, it looked like there, Hazen.
Absolutely. Yep. Back shoulder catch, caught the defender, and napping. And 22-yard score for Mr. CJ Parrish there. Nicely done.
That's what you like to see. I was just talking about, if LA gets another stop there, but it's very interesting to see. We're seeing Detroit kind of, they went on the run with the 5 wide stuff on the first drive, Hazen. And because remember, they started out with runs, nothing but runs, and then they kind of shifted to more of a empty look offense. And now I remember asking the question, on the first play of the game, Monte Wyatt, the free safety of Lycans went down. Do you think that changed maybe some of the narrative? Because now look at where they're attacking and how they've kind of pivoted on offense. It's definitely going to be something to watch moving forward.
Oh, I think it absolutely changes the game. You definitely realize that if you are Casper Haddock, that OC, and you try and use that to your advantage, right? Because there is not to harp on the secondary of Los Angeles at all, but you have a lesser player out there at free safety who, again, might not be used to getting starting reps, right? And I think, with Wyatt being down, again, such an integral part of this defense, not only are you lucky to be in that situation if you're Detroit, you also have to find the offensive scheme to take advantage of that as well. So we'll see how that transpires as the game continues.
What a play there by Bubba Tree. You see Sully Richardson connect, and they tried to hit that earlier on that rollout, and this time not throwing back across his body. And LA picking up a first down just like that. And yeah, again, we are going to have to keep an eye on that. And, look, LA is 4-3. This is a team that is really playing good football right now. And interesting to see how they respond to this. Richardson under center, looking across the middle, down the seam, first down. McMichaels getting that one.
Yeah, it's about time we see McMichaels in the action. As mentioned, team leader coming into this game, only by a yard, however, with 38 catches, good for 10th in the league for 352 and 4 touchdowns. So look to see 89 and White get a lot more action in this one.
Flip pro look, roll out to his left, Sully looking downfield. Going the other way. Wow, unbelievable job. That was number 21 there. King Jamal, the strong safety, playing down.
Yeah, King Jamal with an amazing pick, and that is pick number 49 on his career. So close to 50. Great play, and Sully just has to improve his decision-making there. He's making a lot of high-risk throws, cross bodies, and just really, really poor decision-making. Might want to simplify the offense on the next drive.
Flowers looking downfield. Oh, they're going to get a DPI on that one going against the defense.
Yeah, clear contact there, impeding the progress of the receiver. And Matthew Alvarado looks to be the guilty party here. Yep.
Can you blame him? He's playing in the deep third as a linebacker. So that is it's tough sledding out there, especially when you've got talent all around. You just got to be a little bit more careful on those kind of plays defending.
Right, and yet again, it brings you back to the Monte Wyatt situation, right? Because, from my angle, it almost looks like he's actually playing more of a safety spot there, because he's the last line of defense for LA. But again, he's a linebacker, right? He's not necessarily as fast as some of the safeties out there. So really a tough spot to be in if you're Alvarado in that case.
Absolutely. Nice handoff there for 6 yards. And we're going to see another handoff here, this time to Gibson, I believe, getting it up for a few. And it's just like that. It's 3rd and short for Detroit. And, one thing I want to mention, that this Detroit team has been notorious for running the football really well, but LA's run defense has been really stout tonight.
They
kind
sure
of holding
have.
them. And there we see it again. Anthony Wyo coming in and playing.
Exactly. Directly to your point. They deliver. LA has been really stout, as you said, on the rush defense. They come in with under 100 yards allowed in this one, 8th best in the league with 98.4 allowed per game.
And Aldmir's kick is up, and it sails left, Hazen.
Oh no.
Man.
A rare special teams mishap here as Sil Aldmir misses just her 2nd field goal of the entire year. One of the more accurate kickers in the league, missing one there. And we'll see if LA can take advantage.
That's what I was going to say. They can capitalize now if they can put something together on offense. Sully Richardson dropping back and trying to get a nice little hitch route there. And I think there's a little bit of miscommunication. Looking for Adam Grabowski. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter, just like that.
Yeah, going back to that last pass by Richardson, just almost a sense of panic in that case. It's not like he's really getting pressured at all either. I think he's got to use the space around him in the pocket, make better throws. Also, it's on his receivers to get more into space as well.
Absolutely. Mike O'Neill, Jason Polsonetti, here on the call in Detroit. Got to get it out quickly, and Sully Richardson with a dart to McMichaels again. And you called it, Hazen. Look for 89 in the white.
Absolutely, yeah. He seems to be his safety valve early on. Good hands there by McMichaels in tight coverage, and definitely a smart route there too by McMichaels. Kind of that soft little crossing route to the side that Richardson was rolling to.
Oh, blocked at the line as Sully was trying to get it downfield. Big 54 on the defensive line. Robert Cherry get his hands up.
Yeah, definitely a huge play by Cherry. That is a very large individual defending that pass.
2nd and 10 here. Sully Richardson under center. Detroit bringing pressure off the side. Yeah, and that's going to be caught. Great job by Sully Richardson getting to his safety valve there.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm actually surprised that McMichaels was able to come down with that. But again, finding this connection with McMichaels, you got to think Detroit's got to key in, maybe double team him on this play.
Ocean into the backfield off the line. And handoff up the middle. Stop. 4th and inches. Wow. Marsh coming in with the helmet hit.
Denied on that one. Jubilee Marsh, the backup safety. Oh, and LA's going to challenge here.
Yeah, we're going to get a challenge. It looked close. It was very close.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to get a better angle. We'll see what the video crew has for us here, if anything at all.
Let's see where...
Like oh, here we go. That's really close.
Here we go. It's the ball is in the right hand, which is very tough.
It's also very important to the situation.
Wow. Okay, the call stands. So LA not going to get the first down. It's going to be 4th and inches. Do they? It's close. We're probably going to see a punt here, Hazen.
I would also imagine so.
Oh, no.
I don't.
They're going for it.
Whoa. Okay, we're both wrong.
You can hear the defense getting, or the home team's crowd getting loud here, chanting defense, and just like that, LA's got a first down. That is some bold decision making there for the offense, and it paid off.
Well, when your quarterback is also the offensive coordinator, of course he wants to get back out on the field for 4th down. But yeah, really, really gutsy call there by Richardson, and it most importantly keeps the ball in their possession.
Trying to get to the outside there was Aunt Tim, and Mark blown up in the backfield with that tackle. And look, LA, 2nd and 12. We've seen some of these passing concepts work. I think some of those posts maybe are covered pretty tightly. We've seen a couple interceptions from Sully. Here we go on the rollout here, and that one's caught past the first down marker, and Just like that, McMichaels is moving. This offense really has some potential here, Hazen.
They do, and I would really, if you're LA, keep going to McMichaels because it seems like it's working. I was almost gonna say try and spread it to some other guys, but hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right, Mike?
That is the saying. That is the saying. First and 10, Sully Richardson under center and throwing off of his back foot, making the completion for 3 yards. That was a lot of juice, or a little bit of juice for a lot of squeeze.
I was gonna say a lot of effort for not a lot of yards, but making something out of nothing there. And honestly, I am surprised that was not a third pick.
2nd and 7, staying ahead of the chains here for the Lycans. Got to get rid of it. Broken. Oh, it's taken down in the backfield. Robert Cherry getting back there and getting the stack.
And finally, we see one of these defensive lines do something. Cherry getting in there, the big D tackle on the sack, and about time the defensive lines did something.
And speaking of this defense, let's go over it. Thomas Matthews, Frodo Lagan, Sean Parent, and Robert Cherry are the defensive line. Jack Brown, Casper Haddock, Matthias Ditrion are the linebackers. J.W. Hartshorn, King Rashid, Ramnar Sudi, Chris Delro, King Jamal, and Jubilee Marsh are the defensive backs. Downfield, what a dot by Sully Richardson. 1st and goal for the Lycans. This time, Joseph Baudet.
And it's finally not somebody named Steve McMichaels as Baudet gets involved. Almost looked like the defensive pressure kind of stopped temporarily as they were trying to rush Richardson there. Not exactly sure why that happened, but good job by Richardson noticing the open target and delivering a perfect ball.
1st and goal. Let's see how the offense changes inside of the red zone. Richardson, oh, nice little out route there, getting it for about 5 yards. And there's McMichaels again.
Yeah, dangerous pass there. I thought that was going to be picked off for a second as one of the defenders tried to jump the route. Couldn't quite catch who, but definitely some interesting decisions here by Richardson.
2nd and goal, heavy set here for Richardson. They're going to hand it off, trying to cut into the middle and blown up at the line. That's number 20 there, Chris Delro.
Yeah, it seems that the rushing attack is just not working. I mean, they've got 4 yards on 6 carries in this game. So, not looking good. I would look to pass here.
Richardson got to get there, trying to get it just shy of the end zone and broken up there. It's going to be 4th and goal now.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think we're going to see a field goal here just to get some points, but this is a wasted opportunity for LA, and you got to give credit to Detroit, right? I mean, they're coming into the game allowing just a single red zone touchdown a game, best mark in the league, and as we said, definitely an important thing to watch going forward.
So maybe not happy with the 3 points, Hazen, but, at the end of the day, they still needed 3 points at some point. So they do take a step forward and kind of closing the gap here. And we are seeing some of the passing concepts for the Lycans working. I think that what's really going to be the thing is we get a look at Sully Richardson, 11 and 19. He's got the 2 picks, 57% completion, 127 yards. We've seen some of those concepts work, but there have been a couple of plays in there, specifically on those rollouts, backside throws, where Sully has thrown those interceptions, and I think definitely it's going to be something they have to clean up in the second half moving forward. But we will get there and see how that plays out as we see Ethan Flowers back under center now. 1st and 10 motion for Detroit. Flowers dropping back, looking downfield, caught by Robert Henson Jr. behind the defense. Who says tight ends can't run, Hazen?
Yeah, and talk about threading the needle. That was the best pass I think we've seen all game. And what a throw in between 2 defenders. And Robert Henson says, I'll take that, thank you very much.
And where did they target, Hazen?
The tight ends.
No, I'm saying the on the defense, they targeted right at the
free safety.
spot.
Yes, the free safety, exactly.
Toss out to the left side, trying to get some wiggle room and not getting there. A couple yards. They're going to call it 3 yards for Gibson.
Yeah, really good offensive drive, at least to start here for Detroit. Looking to build on their lead before half here as we're ticking down here in the second quarter.
Heavier set, 2nd and 7, handoff blown up. Man, that defense for LA in the run game has been really good when they need to be.
Absolutely. Holding Rashawn Williams to under 3 yards a carry in this game, big win. Both teams have not been able at all to establish anything on the ground.
Got to get rid of it. Pressure coming off the backside, and incomplete there. Incomplete, and LA gets a 3rd down stop.
A huge stop, and one more deflection.
A great job there by the defense of LA as we're going to see this one being punted away. That's going to be down inside. Oh, takes a good bounce inside the 11-yard line, they're going to call it.
Interesting decision there by the Lycan special teams to let that one go.
I think really just, the ball is lava. I think it's a little bit of that going on. They don't want to give Detroit the ball inside the 10. So they're going to take their chances with it. Sully Richardson back under center here. From the 11-yard line.
We'll see if he can improve. 2 picks especially does not look good on the stat line, but there's a good first pass of the drive here. And look again who it is. It's his guy, McMichaels.
And McMichaels has been the guy for the Lycans so far. I mean, you can see working against Jack Brown, who had the incredible interception earlier, but McMichaels really winning that battle for the most part outside of the 1 interception. 1st and 10 here.
McMichaels,
Flip
the
back.
only...
Blown up in the backfield. Just not going anywhere, Hazen.
Absolutely. And again, just both rush defenses. Tremendous. Truly tremendous.
And we've seen some really good defensive play here tonight from the run games, or against the run games. And 2nd and 12 now, passing situation maybe for Sully Richardson. We're going to see how they handle it. Roll out to the bottom of the screen. Nice little dump off there. I don't mind that play, Hazen. I think that was a great play to get Darius Iniguez involved.
Yeah, I don't mind that either. Especially in a sort of global system where you don't see running backs utilized out of the backfield that often. Definitely a smart play, a high percentage throw. Remember, we've talked about limiting the poor decisions for Richardson, and what just happened? No!
Interception. Unbelievable. J.W. Hartshorn coming away with the pick, trying to get it to the out route there, right there, as you can see, and they had it all covered up, Hazen.
They sure did. Hartshorn reading that one like a book. And 3rd pick for Richardson, and he just has not looked good in this ball game.
It has been tough sledding there. He's had some ups and downs. They've had some routes that work, but overall, it's been tough. Get a look at this 1st down offense for the Maulers. They're handing the ball off, and that's going to be blown up by number 52 on defense, and that's going to be the 2-minute warning. And just like that, we have reached 2 minutes left in the first half, and it seems like it's flown by here.
It absolutely has. Yeah, low-scoring game here, and that was, by the way, Earl Fields the 4th. Shout out making that tackle for LA. Leads the team by a long shot with 15 tackles for loss on the year.
Roll out, looking, and what a throw by Ethan Flowers. Back into the hash marks, getting Rob Hunt on that post there.
Yeah, it seems that the post route has really been the go-to route, especially on those rollouts, right? We've seen that from Sully Richardson too, to McMichaels, but this time using a slot receiver as the main target. Very, very similar offensive schemes here, but one team just having the upper hand.
What it looks like here, handoff to the right side, breaking a tackle, walking in.
There we go.
And just like that, Rashawn Williams in the end zone for the touchdown.
And I bet Rashawn Williams was going, where was that in the first quarter? That is the best run we have seen all game. A little bit of an angry run there by Williams, and that'll definitely improve his average. And great job by Williams. 9th touchdown rushing of the year. He came in with 8th, second in the league, and definitely making a case. I believe he is a rookie, correct? According to this
yes.
here info sheet. So rookie of the year perhaps could be in the midst for Mr. Williams over here. So definitely making a case for it.
Yeah, he has been outstanding this season, no doubt about it. And a little bit of tough sledding for him here tonight, but ends up picking it up, getting into the end zone as we see this return, trying to make something, getting back out to the 36. So LA will take that. 1 minute and 17 seconds left. You kind of got to go into overdrive here, Hazen, if you're the offensive coordinator for Los Angeles.
You do, and it's interesting because you do want to go into that overdrive mode, but you also want to limit mistakes at the same time. And sure. What I was going to make a point about on last drive is that Stephen McMichaels is the only current receiver who has multiple receptions for LA today. He's got 7, and they have 4 receivers with just 1. So they need to spread the ball around, get guys like Chris Lee involved and LZ Pryor. Just utilize their entire offense, right? You can't just rely on one guy. I remember we were talking about McMichaels being that guy, but I mean, he just can't carry the team on his back for 4 quarters, can he?
Roll out Richardson and caught LZ Pryor. How about that one? You just mentioned LZ Pryor, and he comes up with the grab, and that was a very, very nice placed ball by Sully.
It was, and definitely a nice rollout route combo there. Toward the sideline, if it wasn't going to be caught by Pryor, it was probably going to be an incomplete pass. Very low chance at a pick there, especially because it was on the sideline too. So good route, and we would like to see more of those if you're the LA OC.
Nice quick slant there, getting a timeout involved after the first down, and that's what you like to see. Just like that, knocking on the door of the territory or of the red zone of Detroit. Just 13, 14 yards out.
Okay, here we go.
This is crunch time here. Bunch set here for Sully Richardson. One back in the backfield. Roll out to his left. Looking downfield. Cut down in between the numbers. Inside of the 10-yard line. They're going to get their second timeout. They can draw something else up here.
Absolutely. And one thing to note on these last 3 completions, none of them have been post routes. We saw the sideline route, quick slant, and then the go route there by Richardson completing all 3 of those passes. So maybe, not relying on the post route as much as the Detroit offense seems to have that covered.
Ooh, Sully Richardson throwing an interception. I thought it was gone. Jack Brown making an unbelievable play just when you thought the Hall of Famer couldn't get any better, Hazen.
I really don't know how he came down with this. And this is what you practice about, 10, 15 times at practice. Wow. Are you kidding me? Talk about a hip drill. Holy cow.
How many times have you seen a defender tip the ball, then it goes to the original target, that defender tracks back around and makes the interception before the ball hits the ground? You talk about awareness. That was an unbelievable play by the Hall of Fame linebacker.
Absolutely. One of the most aware players. league has ever seen on the defensive side of the football. No wonder he's been in the league 16 seasons. This guy's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Nice run there from Rashawn Williams, and it looks like Detroit's going to be content just taking this into the half with the 14-point lead pending this next play.
Yeah, no rush here for the Maulers. Just want to run it down the clock here and take the 14-point lead into halftime.
What a run up the middle by Andrew Gibson, and I believe that's going to take us into the half. It is. So just like that, halftime here, folks, in Detroit, Michigan. Mike O'Neill and Hazen Polsonetti on the call. Hazen, what have you seen in this first half?
I have seen a lopsided affair and definitely domination by this Detroit defense. As we just mentioned, Jack Brown, 2 picks in this first half. Sully Richardson, 4 first half interceptions, and just really need to go back to square one if you are LA. And again, as I said before, simplify the offense, right? I think that you need to go back, try and get Inigase involved, even though he hasn't been, a big part of this offense. Perhaps keep feeding him, see if can wear down that D line at all, and just gotta exhaust all your options if you're the OC for LA.
Yeah, and we talked about the big shift here, right? I think the big shift happened on the first play of the game with Monte Wyatt going out. I know we keep harping on that, but that is a massive deal when you talk about an all-star safety that is really locking down the back end of the defense there. And with them going out, I mean, it really kind of opened things up for Detroit. It's a 17-3 ball game, but we've seen LA drive the football down the field. Interesting to see what they decide to do here in the second half. And that is it's going to be interesting to see where it goes.
Absolutely.
Mike O'Neill, Hazen Polsonetti here. Justin Reside and Eddie Gage in the stats truck. Cameron Irvine back at SFL HQ. And you're just joining us. The Maulers are up 17-3. It's been a very, very interesting game with Monte Wyatt, the free safety of the Lycans, going down in the first play of the game. And a little bit of offense on each side, but ultimately it's been turnovers that have plagued the Lycans in the first half. And we're going to get a chance to see them come out on offense here first and see if they can redeem themselves. We see Sully Richardson under center here.
Yeah, and if you look at the completion percentage, not that bad. 16 of 27 and 205 yards, which would look pretty good if the 4 picks weren't there.
Absolutely. We are going to get a pass interference there, so we're going to get a free first down out of this.
All right, that's something. That puts them, out of the danger zone here, but, you can't rely on defensive penalties. You can't rely on other teams' mistakes for your offensive production, so definitely would like to, see them get down the field on their own accord for a change and maybe find the way into the end zone here. They need like a long play of some kind to really get them going.
First and 10, free first down for LA. Handoff to the left side, has a little bit of room, picking up 3 yards. Listen up, you won't want to miss this. Every Monday Night Spectacular, you can win money for your player or team bank by playing VFN Bingo alongside the featured game of the week. This week so far, the pot is up to $90,000, but you can help make it bigger by liking this and other videos on the channel. Each like adds $1,000 to the total. See you guys Monday night. Handoff up the middle. Going for a few yards and 3rd and 6.
And what you may not have noticed, Mike, is that LA has actually now overtaken Detroit in the time of possession game. So not something you usually see with a team down 17-3, but they're holding on to the ball. It's just they're not doing anything with it, and part of that has to do again with the turnover margin.
What a play there by Sully Richardson to LZ Pryor. And again, I keep saying this, Hazen, but we've seen them move the football down the field. It's just the turnovers that have plagued the Lycans.
Absolutely. And, this brings me back to the point that I made in the pregame about just how good Detroit's red zone defense is, right? They come in, they allow one touchdown a game, right? Which is unheard of. And I think that they need to find a way to not only get down the field, but actually finish a drive, something that they can't seem to do today whatsoever.
Unbelievable job by the run defense there at Detroit, that 4-yard loss. We're going to see a bunch look here. 2nd and 14 now. Sully rolling out to his left, looking downfield. Oh, nearly grabbing it. Had room to run if they could just hang on to it, but it was just messed up in the air by a defender.
Yeah, it seems that Richardson hasn't had a lot of success on those rollouts. I'd almost like to see him drop straight back for a couple of throws and see if that has more success.
3rd and 14. This is a crucial moment for LA. Can they keep the drive going? Motion from left to right. Sully rolling out this time again, looking downfield. Oh, had the look, but the passing lanes disrupted again, trying to get it to LZ Pryor.
Yeah, and I think, again, as I mentioned, the action of the rollout is partially, not fully, what's to me causing this kind of disconnect between Richardson and his receivers, right? Because with this rollout mechanic, you're kind of forced to one side of the field. And if you have to force yourself to throw cross-body, not only are you more inaccurate, but you're also more prone, as we've seen all game, to throw interceptions, right? And I think that, having more of a controlled drop back, not panicking too much, waiting to make a throw, waiting for your receivers to get open, I think he'll have a lot more success that way.
Toss out to the right side. Pick up of 3 here. And let's go over this defense for LA. I don't think we ever got to it. Greg Ward, Selwyn Lane, Nick Brummer, Ace Blackwell are the defensive line. Tazzy Blackwell, Matthew Alvarado, Earl Fields, the 4th, Brogan Spirall are the linebackers. That's going to be handed off to the left side, finding some room. Getting a first down is Andrew Gibson. Mike Scott, Darrell Bullock, Anthony Wyatt, Monty Wyatt, Ryan Yosef, and Paul Alazar are the defensive backs. It's a good first down run for Detroit.
It is. Yeah, Andrew Gibson, the backup running back, who, as I mentioned before, averaging 5 yards a carry, actually more than Williams going into this game. Definitely almost a secret weapon of sorts.
Tossed out to the left side. Oh, almost caught there. On the sideline. Oh, what a play by Rashawn Williams. He had me tripping over my words here, Hayes, and I couldn't even find the words to go along with the run. That was unbelievable there.
Yeah, I could barely find the words either. And that is more of what we're used to seeing out of Williams. Those big, angry runs, yards after contact. And this is the Rashawn Williams that we know.
Definitely one of the more explosive runners in the SFL. 1st and 10 here. And off up the middle. This time Gibson picking up 4 yards. And this is where you don't want to be if you're LA's defense, because this is where Detroit gets comfortable with that run game.
Absolutely. And that is the perfect word I would use to describe it. They are warming up. I can feel it. And if they get going, they get going. So you better watch out. This offensive line for Detroit, this is probably their most important drive.
2-yard gain there. It was 52 on the tackle. It's Earl Fields, the 4th.
Earl Fields, the 4th, definitely one of the best run stoppers on this team. 3rd on the team with 53 tackles at that outside linebacker spot.
Looking downfield, and the coverage on the back end was great. And just like that, you go from Detroit running the football and now having to punt.
Was it just me, or was C.J. Parrish wide open on that play, 17? I feel like he made the wrong decision and could have thrown it to Parrish for a bigger gain.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. You hate to see it, but LA's certainly happy about it.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure that they are overjoyed about that.
That one's going to go back into the end zone, and we're going to see LA come back out here. And look, I mean, let's be real here, Hazen. This is a 14-point game. This is a 2-touchdown game with still a quarter and a half to go. So this is not by any means out of reach.
It's not out of reach, but it's a prove it drive for me. Can Richardson orchestrate something, even if it's only 3, just to get his team some confidence, drive down the field, get a couple of good throws like he just did, going strong in a row, and show Detroit that they came to play and that they're not out of this.
A great throw and catch there. Richardson to McMichaels. It's Richardson dropping back again this time. Oh, getting it to the out route. That was very dangerous. Finds McMichaels again. It's going to be 2nd and short now.
Yeah, the out route is not a route that I would particularly throw in that situation. You've already thrown 4 picks. At least one of the interceptions has come via that out route. And just overall not a good decision there.
Tries to hand it off up the middle, going nowhere. It's a 3rd and 1. That was 29 on the tackle, Jubilee Marsh.
Yeah, this LA offensive line not providing enough wiggle room here for Inigase and Tim. Definitely look to improve on that in the second half.
And you hate to see it. They try to go run again, and Chris Delro this time making the big stop for Detroit. And 4th and inches, they're having to punt here.
I unfortunately think this is the right call given the field position. You do not want to give up that good field position. I like punting here.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. You got to punt it away, and there's plenty of time. But, I mean, you got to say, I don't want to have to say it, Hazen, but at some point, the run game for LA, it's not really going anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, at some point, you're going to have to keep moving the chains. We'll
Absolutely.
see what they decide to do on offense.
And if you can't do it via the running game, might as well just go back to your number 1 target, right? Stephen McMichaels. He has averaged 10.2 yards a reception, and he's caught 9 out of his 11 targets. So essentially, given the math, if you throw to him every play and he gains the average amount of yards, you're going 10 yards on every play, right? Yeah. And you'll eventually find your way to the end zone. Obviously, that's not how it works, but anyway, I still think that you should feed McMichaels consistently and almost kind of clear out space, maybe have your receivers run some decoy routes to get him even that much more open, because he is just dominating this game, along with Pryor, who's kind of getting hot for LA as well. So maybe keying in on those 2 players if you are Richardson.
Nice run to the right side there. And coming up tomorrow on the Virtual Football Network, Pittsburgh travels to Bossier City in a critical game for both teams' playoff chances. Kicking us off at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Other action includes Fort Worth in Miami, Washington, Houston, and Anchorage, Oklahoma City. It's all right here on VFN. Flowers dropping back, looking downfield, and caught an unbelievable Robert Henson Jr. Maybe not known for the deep threat tight end, but tonight he is.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would say CJ Parrish is probably more of the deep threat guy on this team, but hey, tight ends can ball too. Robert Henson has had a tremendous game.
That he has. 1st and 10. Doubles look now for the offense. We're going to go motion Henson from right to left. Flowers dropping back. Got to get rid of it. Looking downfield. Oh, nearly undercut. Would have been huge for LA. Looking for Henson again.
Yeah, he got popped there. Tremendous coverage by LA, and that is a key pass breakup because that could have spelled trouble for LA's defense if Detroit was able to get in the red zone.
2nd and 10 now. We saw this 5 wide really early in the game. Quite a bit from Detroit. See what they decide to do with it. That's number 80 going in motion, Jimmy Went. They're going to flood that right side. Looking across. Oh, nearly going the other way. 26 had a hand on it. That was Paul Alazar, the safety.
Yeah, and if you're Alazar, you really need to come away with that. That was right off of your fingertips. That was a missed opportunity if you're LA.
3rd and 10, 5 wide again. Can LA get the stop? Dropping back, looking downfield, overthrown. LA gets a stop. They're going to have to settle for 3 pending the kick.
Yeah, really good job by LA there. Not bending, but not breaking. I mean, it is going to be potentially a 17-point game if this is successful, but not necessarily out of it just yet. There is still a lot of time in this game, Mike.
That one by Aldmir is right through the uprights. Just like that, Detroit increases the lead by 3 points. 20-3 now is the score. And Hazen, back to LA, right? Back to this offense. You said feed McMichaels, right? Obviously that's the thing, but you got to think. I mean, we're getting close to the end of the 3rd quarter. At some point, LA's got to abandon the 1-yard, 2-yard runs, setting them behind the chains, right?
Oh, absolutely. No question. I think that if I'm LA, I am probably going to move away from guys like Iniesta and Tim. I would even try and throw them in like potential 5 wide formations as slot receivers potentially, or even utilize some motion to get them into space like they're doing now. With them, I think like single back formations or even this is acceptable. Yeah. Getting them in these kind of flat route situations where it's a high percentage reception chance. It might not get you the yards you need, but it still boosts Richardson's completion percentage and confidence too.
Absolutely, getting them warmed up and getting them comfortable. We're going to see him roll out here and going down in the backfield. That's what you got to be afraid of with those rollouts. Cherry coming in again and getting another sack.
Absolutely. And one thing to note about these rollouts, too, that I've been noticing is that not only is the quarterback moving in such a direction, you also have to get your offensive line over there to help you block, too. If you have a corner blitz coming or even a slot corner blitz, he's essentially going right at you untouched.
Great point. 3rd and 3. They're going to motion the back. And that's going to be Darius Iniguez going out into the flat. Looking downfield, intercepted. Oh, that is not what you want to see there. That is Matthias Citrion with the interception.
Again, what have we talked about? Rollouts, throwing crossbody. He rolls out to the left, throws to the right, another low percentage throw, and pick number 5 for Sully Richardson in this ball game. My goodness, this is very troublesome to watch. It's 5 drives where you could have come away with points but didn't. Of course it's the difference.
And you hate to see it. You know, LA is 4-3, right? It's a good football team. Mm-hmm. And I think what you have here tonight, Hazen, and I always like to try and keep things even keel, but what I think we're seeing tonight is Detroit's coaching staff was just ready for the rollout. Period. They were just ready for the rollout.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. They were in the film room heavily this week. They knew that Richardson was mobile, especially early on in the progression, and they have been up to the challenge. Just a true all-out defensive effort in all phases. D-line, linebackers. Of course, we mentioned Jack Brown earlier, has 2 picks, and also the secondary as well.
Mike O'Neill, Hazen Polzanetti here. And we're here in the fourth quarter in Detroit. Seeing Flowers with a nice throw and catch, getting it to number 17, CJ Parrish there. And just like that, they are knocking on the door of the end zone again.
Yeah, surprised we haven't seen more of CJ Parrish in this one. It's a name we haven't called a lot. Only his 3rd catch. Flowers has only thrown the ball 16 times, and once again, they're actually losing the time of possession battle in this one so far, which, again, is kind of hard to believe. So they have been using every second of their ball possession to march their offense down the field.
And off, getting inside of the 5 is Andrew Gibson. SFL convention is headed back west, this time to Denver, Colorado, July 31st through August 2nd. We've already oversold our rooms in what is shaping up to be the largest SFL convention ever. Reserve your room now at simfl.net, and don't miss the SFL event of the year. Let's see if Detroit can punch it in again. Hand it off, trying to fight his way in, and he does. That's going to be Rashawn Williams' 2nd touchdown of the evening.
Angry run number 2 for the touchdown by Williams. And yeah, I mean, I was harping on earlier on in the game, back when both rushing offenses weren't, kind of getting anything going, but Rashawn Williams putting together a pretty impressive stat line, 18 for 66, and now his 2nd score. So props to Williams, great running back for sure. And, LA wishing they had all game, like, just a very poor rushing offense by LA in this game, and especially down 27-3 now, I really don't see them utilizing it going forward in this 4th quarter.
Yeah, 27-3. I think I think it kind of shifts a little bit. The narrative shifts a little bit here when you're looking at the offense and what the offense is going to do. So we see that return come out to about the 25-yard line, and look, I don't want to seem like we're just harping on LA, because the bottom line is this: if you take the rollouts out of this game, LA has been great in the passing game outside of the rollouts.
Agreed.
The rollouts have been the one thing.
Yep. And that comes down to the offensive coordinator. Gotta find a scheme that suits your quarterback.
Great play there by Sully Richardson, getting it to McMichaels out in the flat. But what a play design there. It's just a nice little out route. There was nobody on him.
And again, controlled drop back. You notice he dropped straight back in that progression rather than rolling out and panicking to make a throw.
Motion from left to right. Going out on an island this time is Adam Grabowski. They're going to go with the run. Cutting back inside, going nowhere. Maybe a yard is Darius Iniguez.
Yeah, so apparently they did not listen to what we were talking about earlier about abandoning the run, but then again, I am not the OC and probably shouldn't be calling their plays.
Yeah.
So
that's why we're up here.
Exactly. That's why we're in the booth.
They go back to run here, and 4th and 1 as King Jamal comes up and makes the stop, and Aunt Tim can't get him there. It's 4th and 1, and they're going to have to punt here.
Yeah, it is so important for the safety spot, especially a guy like King Jamal, to be active, not just in pass coverage, but also run support too. Definitely helps for a guy to be that versatile and contribute in a way that he's contributed today.
We're going to see Detroit get the ball again. Jamar Shelton takes that back out to about the 27, I believe. The 28, we're going to call it. And We've talked about LA a lot here, Hazen, but let's talk about Detroit and what they've done. They really had a great balance. When they started the game, they went so run heavy, right? And then immediately shifted to this all passes. We're going to see a toss out to the right side. Going to be a gain of 2 yards. And yeah, they shifted to the run game here, and or back to the run game now and later in the game. And it's been really, really well for them.
It absolutely has. And this shift back to the running game will hopefully kind of balance out the time of possession a little bit and hopefully run down more of this clock as we have taken under 7 minutes to go now and provide LA with less opportunities to come back in this game because you can't have any points on the board if you don't have the football in your hands. So definitely important to chew that clock if you are Detroit.
Nice run by Rashawn Williams, picking up the first down. And, and look, that's what makes this Detroit team, we talk about, I mean, you can't knock on LA too much. This Detroit team is 6-1 coming into this game, and it's for a reason. It's because they can open up the passing game and quickly slow the game back down so they can dictate the pace. You hear people talk about all the time about teams being able to dictate the pace of the game. That's what Detroit does, and it's not just about slowing the game down. Detroit has the ability to speed the offense up to their pace or to dictate the pace of the game with their offense through the air, right? And then slow it back down to the run. And there's not many teams that can do that. When you get those teams that have that dual dynamic, a lot of the times they're going to go pretty far into the postseason. So we're going to see a nice throw downfield, and that was off the hands as Monte Wyatt, back in the game for the second half, locked that down.
Yeah, interesting to see Wyatt back out there. Not entirely sure when he appeared back in the game, but good to see that he is not seriously hurt.
The 3rd and 10 here. Got to get the first down. Keep the clock moving. Flowers looking downfield. He's going to take it himself. Spin move, not going to get there. 4th down, LA gets the stop.
Yeah, good job by LA forcing Flowers to be uncomfortable there and take off scrambling. But LA got to really go down the field quickly here. You only got 5 minutes left, down by 3 scores here. And it is go time.
Getting the ball back at the 20. We're going to see LA trot back out onto the field. And this is, if we're looking at the rest of the season for LA, I think the one thing you got to look at is, look, if Detroit can do this defensively, if they can key in on those rollouts like that, you got to seriously take a look at those rollouts going forward if you're the offensive coordinator for Los Angeles. And I believe we have a game update ready. Cam, what you got for us?
Thank you, Mike. This is how it ended in Florida. Mexico City up 24-17, 46 seconds left. Florida had a 4th and goal at the 1-yard line, and Isaac Covert attempted to connect with Israel Adams, but it was knocked away, and Mexico City wins an instant classic. Gotta watch it on demand. 24-17 Aztecs.
Classic showdown there, as that one's almost going the other way. Classic showdown there, Mexico City and Florida. That's an old school SFL matchup there, and obviously came down to the wire. Good to see, but man, back to this game, Hazen. Let's break it down. Let's try and give some optimism for LA. They're 4-3, and that's going to be a stack in the backfield. Pressure hit home there. That time it was Frodo Laggins off the edge.
Yeah, again, we go back to this optimism for LA. Next week, they play the Arizona Scorpions, who, as you may have seen, have just upset the Hellhounds, but they go into Arizona to play that game. So they will not have the benefit of the home crowd, unfortunately, in that one.
Unbelievable. Is
that the touchdown?
Holy cow.
Rashard Williams caught me off guard. Holy cow.
Cut us off, why don't you, Rashawn Williams? That
Really?
was a play and a half. Unbelievable job by this offense, and that's about as good as it gets from the halfback position there. And look at the blocking, getting up to the second level and getting just inside of the pylon. I mean, that is beautiful. It's about as good as it gets. Going back to this, hey, the third time is a charm. Going back to this optimism, you talk about they go into LA or into Arizona. Into Arizona, they're traveling into Arizona. That's a very tough feature. But what I want to point out is that LA has been notoriously good at coming in and winning games that they shouldn't win. Obviously saying that as Detroit's up 34-3 right now in Detroit, but LA has the firepower to be able to turn it on. I think that, if you're looking at that game, if Detroit did it, you know that Arizona's going to do it against those rollouts.
Right, exactly. I think that, if you are an offensive coordinator of LA in Richardson, I would potentially consider switching it up a bit, right? I think, watching the film at least of this game, potentially other games as well, you know what works, you stick with what works, and you try and implement that more in your offense. So, they definitely do have the players to win games. It's just a matter of how you use those players in your offense.
A great catch there. And Richardson going hurry up here as we're seeing some good connections back to back and moving the football down the field here. Richardson looking again downfield, and he's catching them off guard right now. And this is what you want to see more of Sully during the regular, not in a hurry up situation. Trying to get it to LZ Pryor there.
It's almost like he's performing better in the hurry-up offense than he is, in the normal tempo offense, almost because he doesn't have time to roll out and make those bad decisions because he has to throw it right away because of time.
Another thing that we really haven't talked about a lot is the fact that, that was a great pass breakup by Detroit. Another thing we haven't talked about a lot is LA didn't really have a run game to balance out the passing game.
Absolutely, yeah. Inigas and Tim are really, unfortunately, non-factors. I mean, they're of course heavily talented running backs, but they were just really no match. I mean, this offensive line for LA just not up to the task against guys like Robert Cherry, Sean Parent, Frodo Lagan, just to name a few. I mean, they have just been dominant, not only the entire game, but also the entire season as well.
Absolutely agree with you, as we're going to see LA challenge this spot here. Sully got it out to his receiver, and I believe it looked pretty close here, Hazen. We're going to see, as it was LZ Pryor with the reception. This is another close one.
Let's see what this angle gives us here, Mike.
I mean, it's very close. It's right at the line, but I don't know if it ever crossed the line. Yep, they're going to continue to call it short on 4th and inches here. It doesn't really matter. We're going to see LA go for it anyways.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that, I thought they would have given that to him. I mean, they are down by 31 points. Maybe they get a call to go their way. No, they're actually not going for it here,
Look out
Mike.
for a fake. Yep.
Oh!
They tried to go with a fake.
Wow!
And they weren't able to complete it.
Oh, goodness.
Unbelievable. It was McMichaels that just was not looking for the ball there. That is unfortunate.
Yeah, I believe that was actually Grabowski, the backup tight end, 85, but still, regardless, going for a fake field goal when you're down 31 points, you're better off just going for the 4th down normally, wouldn't you think?
What a run. I mean, this is Rashawn Williams putting a clinic at the end of the game on. I mean, that is, I think it was another 20-plus runs, which you don't see often in the SFL. I mean, but, I mean, come on. He has got to be one of the most explosive runners in the SFL.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just watching him in this game, he has for sure been the closer, ticking all that time off the clock, keeping the ball in Detroit's possession, and really has stepped up in the second half.
22-yard run, they're going to call it. Shout out to Eddie Gage and the stats truck. That time, there's a handoff to Brad Taylor Wright, the fullback, getting in the mix. And this is what Detroit does. This is what they do. They get the ball back. They keep. They weren't even winning possession majority of this game, Hazen, and they were able to capitalize because of how efficient their pass attack was. I mean, you talk about the explosive vertical threats downfield to Robert Henson Jr., and then balancing that out with the ability to be able to rush in the end zone with Rashawn Williams and Andrew Gibson.
Absolutely, and I think that balance is something that is very important to having a successful team, right? Because we've talked about the imbalance that LA has had. As you can see, their bench not very happy over there because they just weren't able to get any sort of rushing attack going today. And I think having that kind of one-dimensional offense can have some repercussions and problems, right? So I think, obviously the 5 interceptions doesn't help, but I feel like some of those could have been remedied if they had some sort of rushing attack going.
We reached the 2-minute warning, and 2 minutes left in this ball game. Maybe not the way we thought it was going to go. 34-3. Right now, your final or your pending score. We're going to see another rush here by Rashawn Williams, and you see how he cuts back inside there. So we're going to see LA call another timeout here.
Yeah, tremendous hole finding ability for Williams. Again, you talked about him being one of the most explosive backs in the league, and that is a key trait that a lot of explosive running backs have.
Motion Henson out to the outside on an island now. Going to go handoff up the middle to Brad Taylor Wright. Fighting for a first down and 2 yards shy. And another timeout here for LA.
As we take a look ahead at these teams' upcoming games here, Mike, we've got already mentioned the Scorpions, who will be playing against the Lycans next week. But then we have got the Maulers. Their next game actually will be a bye week next week, and then they'll play at 0-6 Miami. But in week 13, a highly anticipated game against Houston in week 13 for them. They're currently at 6-1, so definitely looking forward to that game.
Yeah, that will definitely be one to circle on the calendar. And I believe LA is now out of timeouts because of the challenge, and we're going to start to see the victory formation here, Hazen.
Yeah, definitely dominant performance all around by Detroit. LA going to have to go back to the drawing board here, unfortunately, on both sides of the ball. But huge shout out, and if you had to give a player of the game nod to anybody today, Mike, who is your player of the game?
Oh, that's a tough one. You've got multiple candidates. Obviously, you can talk about Rashawn Williams and the ability to capitalize on those situations, even though maybe wasn't so explosive for 3 quarters of the game. Obviously, the touchdown runs inside of the red zone help. Man, I think, okay, this is going to be kind of an underrated one. Well, okay, I've got a number one, and then I've got a clear-cut winner, and then I've got a backup, like, underdog, okay? So the clear-cut winner is going to be Jack Brown.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, too.
Yeah, clear-cut winner's got to be Jack Brown. Those 2 interceptions were unbelievable, and they came at pivotal moments inside of both, I believe, inside of the red zone or the territory.
Yep.
as that is going to be the end of the game. The backup, the underdog, is Robert Henson Jr. Because I don't think, because without his vertical threat ability in the first half, I think that this is a completely different ball game because he really opened the offense up for Detroit.
Yeah, and you said he was a guy who wasn't even a vertical threat. The guy averaged 26 yards a catch.
Pretty impressive.
He had 3 for 78 in this ball game. And a huge part of the offense was Detroit's leading receiver. I know. I mean, for a guy who only threw 17 passes for $189, I mean, it was unbelievable the way they put up 34 points.
Yeah, it was absolutely unbelievable. And you got to give a shout out to the defense of Detroit because they really came out to ball. Any final thoughts on the game here?
Well, I'm actually looking at them right now. LA, 18 first downs, 3 points. That is one of the most eye-popping stats in this one. And
Wow. Well, that is going to do it for us here. For
really, congrats to Detroit. They're
Hazen, Polson, Eddie Gage, and Justin Reside, and Cameron Irvine. Thank you guys, and have a great night.